All right, it's time for your next challenge. You can find the challenge in the Challenge Tuples page of the playground you've been using, or you can download a new one from the resources for this video. Open it up and try solving the challenge questions on your own, but then keep watching to compare your work to mine. Good luck! All right, challenge 1. Declare a constant tuple named specialDate that contains 3 int values followed by a string. So use this to represent a date in the month, day, year format, followed by a word you might associate with that day. So I've picked the Worldwide Developers Conference, or WWDC as we call it, that Apple puts on every year in June. So in 2019, WWDC was on June the 3rd. Okay, so first I'll declare the constant with let specialDate. Then in parentheses, I put 3 ints, not specifying the type, but letting Swift infer the type. 6 to represent the month, June. 3, the day. And 2019 for the year. And followed by a string, WWDC. Done. On to challenge 2. Create another tuple, but this time name the constituent components. Give them names related to the data they contain. The month, the day, the year, and description. Okay, I'm going to declare this as let named specialDate. And then in parentheses, I put the month, 6, the day, 3, the year, 2019, and the string description, WWDC. Now this tuple has exactly the same data as your first one, but in this format, it's much easier to reference. On to challenge 3. So, in just one line, read the day and description values into 2 constants. You'll need to use the underscore to ignore the month and the year. Okay, so I'll start with let, and then some parentheses. So then an underscore to ignore the month, and a constant, I'll call it keynote day, and that'll capture the day, and then another underscore to ignore the year, and then another constant to capture the description. We'll call that keynote description. And then I set that set of constants equal to the named specialDate tuple. And that's done. On to challenge number 4. So up until now, you've only seen constant tuples, but you can create variable tuples too. Create one more tuple, like in the exercises above, but this time use var instead of let, and then change the day to a new value. Okay, instead of let, which you use for constants, you start with var since you're defining a variable tuple. I'll call it iPhone day since this is the day we hear about new iPhones. And I'll do pretty much the same thing I did above as I did for the named specialDate constant. So the month will default to 9. The day will default to 10. The year will default to 2019. And I'll default the name to iPhone day. There. Now to change something, all you have to do is put the name of the variable, iPhone day, and then a dot, and then the member of the tuple you want to change. So in this case, it's name. Then the assignment operator, and put in quotes what you want to change it to. All right, it looks like I'd better help you finish up this section of the course so I can get in line for that latest and shiniest iPhone. Now that you're done with the challenges, you can take some of the concepts you learned with tuples and take them into the next section where you'll learn about another collection, arrays.